Section 12, using the quotient rule. All right, this is a quotient rule equation right here. If you want an easier way of thinking about it than just the equation, bottom d top minus top d bottom all over the bottom squared is kind of like the out loud way of going through doing it. If you want to prove this, the easiest way to do it, like if you don't remember the equation, you're like, how do I remember which one's before the minus sign? Because that makes a huge difference over which answer is right. An easy way to do that is just to take the derivative using the product rule, which doesn't matter which order it's in, by just flipping the v up to the top by making it v to the negative 1. And you can use the product rule, and you can go through and find that it's actually the bottom first and then the derivative of the first term as the one that comes before the minus sign. But anyways, let's do some practical examples of this. Our first question here, let's distribute the x squared first. So we get y is equal to 2x squared minus 5x squared over x plus 6. Okay, next step, take the derivative. Now we get 4x as our first derivative. And then the second term here, we're going to have to use the quotient rule for. Surprise. So we take the derivative of the top, multiply it by the bottom, and then and I'm just pulling things directly out of this equation, minus the top times the derivative of the bottom is 1, so now, thank you. All right, and then our bottom squared, x plus 6 squared. Okay, now we could stop here for our answers in class. However, if this is on the AP test, would not be how their final answer looks. So let's simplify this a little bit farther, just for that sake. So this term is fine, obviously. Here we should distribute in the 10x. And it should be obvious that these guys will kill each other. It's important to remember this minus sign. I should put this somewhere more clear. It doesn't apply to the 10, it applies to this entire term that's being subtracted. All right, and our last term is just going to be, okay, 10x squared minus 5x squared is 5x squared. So we get 4x minus 5x squared minus 60x all over x plus 6 quantity squared. And that's it. All right, our next one. This is hard to read, so I'm going to rewrite it. It's actually t minus 2 to the 5th on top and t minus 4 squared on the bottom. So we're just going to follow the formula again. So bottom d top minus top d bottom all over the bottom squared. Okay, very tempting in this situation to just square the bottom and just put a squared here. I actually did that the first time I tried to make a video on this, but it's actually squared of squared, so it's to the 4th power. And we can just stop here. This is fine. On the AP test, they'd probably simplify further, but this is not the AP test. You can leave your answer here in class. All right, that's it for quotient rule.